Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back to 2nd Street. It is Thursday, January 3rd, 2019, and thank you all for checking out my first video of the year. Today I'm going to be discussing Marvel Comics' recent event, Spider Geddon, and please make sure you stay tuned till the end for details on a giveaway I will be doing when we hit 100 subscribers here on this channel. Stay tuned.
Not doing much, just a life for me. Could take a shower, cause I really think, but nah, I think I'd rather...
Again, thank you all so much for tuning into this first video of the year here on the 2nd Street Marvel. As I said, today I'm going to be discussing Marvel Comics' recent event, Spider Geddon. Now, in case you don't know, every Wednesday most major publications release new comics. And this week I figured I'd go over a few of the ones that I picked up, starting with Marvel Comics Winter Soldier. Now this is issue number 2. This series kicked off last month. It's obviously follows Bucky Barnes as he is, how would you say, he is a very proactive therapist for people who are seeking redemption for their past crimes. And the first issue really ended with a bang, so I had to check out issue number 2, and I actually had him add this to my pull list at the comic shop. Now the second one I've got here is Champions number 1. Now I wasn't going to pick this one up, but yesterday I was watching Professor Bill over at Comic Book University. I was watching his breakdown of it and decided to pick it up. And so like I said, originally I wasn't going to pick that one up, so I decided to check that one out because it sounded pretty interesting. The next one I have here is actually on my pull list, the Uncanny X-Men number 8. Now, this is number 8 of a 10-issue run kicking off the new Uncanny X-Men series. They're basically releasing 10 issues right in a row every single week until they get to issue number 10. This is issue number 8, so we've got 2 more weeks left of those consecutive issues, and I'm guessing after that they will probably go down to once a month, maybe bi-monthly. It's hard to say. I'll get more on that later. Then the last one I picked up was actually this one right here, Superhero Adventures number 1, Across the Spider-Verse. Now, I actually just picked this up to read with my son, so, you know, he's 4 years old, so, you know, get him started early, right? That's all the issues that I picked up this week. I haven't got a chance to read any of these yet, but in case you don't know, next week will be the Avengers Prelude comic issue number 2. That's the prelude for Avengers Endgame. Now, I know a lot of people were upset when issue number 1 didn't really release any new information. There was a couple of scenes that were a little bit different from in the movie, but you know, honestly, I'm not sure who would really be disappointed if you've read the comics before. It was really nothing unexpected. They don't reveal a whole lot in these comics, especially one like this. It's a prelude where a lot of things have kind of led up to it. It's really more of a backstory, and I'm guessing in the 3rd issue we will probably get a little bit of information that is different from what we got in Avengers Infinity War. But I'm not holding my breath to get a whole lot of information. As you can see, even in the Captain Marvel prelude, we did get quite a bit that we hadn't seen before or anything like that, but we still didn't get a whole lot. So like I said, I'm not expecting a whole lot out of the next issue, but definitely issue number 3, which will be coming out on February 20th. So that's in about another month, and I'm guessing right about that same time we'll probably get the 2nd Avengers Endgame trailer. That's just a guess, you know, don't take my word for it. Between now and then I may release a new video in case anything comes out saying otherwise, but I'm guessing it'll be around there because I believe Captain Marvel is going to be dropping in February as well. I have to look up the date, but I'm pretty sure it's in February, so I would guess that they put all of those things together to coincide with each other. So, getting back to Spider Geddon. What is Spider Geddon? Well, it's kind of hard to explain. I'm probably not the best person to tell you, but Spider Geddon is basically a sequel to an event that happened a few years ago in Marvel Comics called Spider-Verse. You may have heard of it. Obviously, they reference it in Sony Pictures' recent movie that is released at the theaters, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, that is really the story of Miles Morales and kind of an introduction to the Spider-Verse, really. I would say it definitely ties into the comics and probably ties into this series. Now, I'm not saying that the screen adaptation is an exact adaptation of what happened in Spider-Verse. As I said, I haven't read Spider-Verse, so I can't say for sure. But this is basically a sequel to Spider-Verse. The Spider-Verse, it basically is about this family of vampires called the Inheritors. There's 5 or 6 of them. There's Genix, Deimos, Brix, Bora, Verna. I know I'm forgetting one. Solus. Solus is the father. And Morlun. Yes, Morlun also. That's okay. So I believe that's 7 of them. I could be wrong. I was counting on my fingers. Rewind it if you want to see how many I was up to before I remembered. Before I remembered Morlun. Now, so these vampires, they feed on totems, specifically those of animals for the most part, and they really love that of spiders. They really love, the younger the spider totem, the better. So babies are definitely who they're really after, and then, you know, of course, you know, going on a ladder, you know, I mean, naturally. But anyway, so they really feed on these spider totems, they love them, and they travel throughout the multiverse to eat these spider totems. They're essentially pulling the souls out of these spider totems and killing them, is essentially what they do. Now, Spider-Verse, or Spider Geddon, is a continuation of Spider-Verse. And here in Spider Geddon, they have returned with a vengeance, and as I said, Morlun has a particular vendetta to settle with Peter Parker, the spectacular Spider-Man. And I believe this is the Spider-Man of Earth 616. I don't have all these things sorted out yet because there's a bunch of timelines that go on together at the same time. Amazing Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man. If you know more about that, leave it down in the comments. Fill me in a little bit. Like I said, I'm fairly new back into comics, so I can't really get into all that. I'm sure somebody else can explain that to you a whole lot better. So basically the story is about all these spider people throughout the multiverse coming together to defeat the Inheritors. And needless to say, there is quite the cast. Now, I don't know the specific reading order. You could probably read some of these things together. I'm going to leave a link down in the description to a website that has more information on a reading order that they have and they tell, which isn't exactly how it happened in the comic books, but they have some justifications, as well as I have some of my own that, you know, I feel are kind of justified. So I'm going to go through each one of these series and kind of shed some light on them. I'm going to save the main event for the end, going over these issues. I'm going to go over the tie-in issues first. The event kicks off with the Edge of Spider Geddon, which is basically a prelude to the main event. And in here we are introduced to some of the characters that we will be, you know, meeting here in the Spider Geddon, and I can't really go into it because, to be quite honest, I haven't read the Edge of Spider Geddon issues. I just got into it right as the series was kicking off, so I haven't read those. I do got issues 1, 2, and 4. I'm still waiting to get number 3, but it did just release on trade, which is the collected editions, I believe just this past week as well, so you can pick that up at your local comic shop. Okay, now the Edge of Spider Geddon is the first of the tie-ins, the second one being Superior Octopus. Now this is just a 1-issue run. It basically introduces the character of Superior Octopus. Now, in case you don't know, obviously that is Otto Octavius, and this character is really awesome. They introduced him in this 1 issue. The art's really great, the story's really good. Pick up this issue if you haven't read it. I really like it, and plus I really like this character. They go on to, not in this series, but they continue on this story with the Superior Spider-Man, because in this issue he does shed his Superior Octopus persona and turn into the Superior Spider-Man, which he has done before, and I'm telling you, this character is awesome. If you haven't read him, check him out. Good stuff. Now the next tie-in series is Vault of Spiders, and here we are introduced to spider people like Captain George Stacy, the Spider's Man, one of my favorite, who is just basically like a collection of spiders who think they're Peter Parker and they go around and fight crime. The story is pretty, I don't know, for some reason it's captivating. I really like this character. I wish we could get more of this character. He should probably have like his own like series or something, or maybe just, I don't know, be sprinkled in some of the Spider-Man stuff, because this character is really awesome. We also meet Spider-Man, which is Aunt May, who is bitten by the radioactive spider. She's pretty cool, swinging around with her Spider-Man outfit and basically a baker's cap on, and I don't know, she's hilariously awesome. We are also introduced to Web Slinger, the Spider-Man from the Old West. We also get the Japanese version in Spider-Man. I could be saying that wrong, you know. Probably have to ask my wife. She's Japanese. I don't really know, but he's a Japanese version from, I believe, a 1970s TV show, and he's pretty good. He's pretty good as well. That's pretty much it for the Vault of Spiders. You could probably read these issues before, you know, probably along with the Edge of Spider Geddon, as it just kind of introduces some of the spider people you're going to meet in this throughout this Spider Geddon event. The next of the tie-ins is Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man. Now, there's only 3 issues in the tie-in here, but this series was going on before and it's going on after. It just happens to tie into here. This is issues 311, 312 and 313. These issues were actually really good. It's a universe I'm not used to. Peter Parker has basically revealed his identity to J. Jonah Jameson, and in these particular issues, he actually comes to help out as he is getting the snot beat out of him, I believe in Central Park, by Malone, and I'm telling you, these issues are pretty good. Now, the one thing about these issues is the art is very different from that of the other issues that are tied into this event, and I actually kind of like it. Like I said, I haven't read this series before, but it's pretty good. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to read it. Maybe I'll go pick up another issue or two and check it out, but I have been following The Amazing Spider-Man and like that, but that's a different story for another time. The next of the tie-ins is Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider. Now there's only 3 issues on here as well, but it is going to continue after this event. I believe issue number 4 is going to come out next week or the week after that. This series is really well drawn. The story here is really great. Spider-Gwen is basically stuck, I can't remember on which Earth, but she gets stuck on this weird alternate Earth where she is actually the Green Goblin. Peter Parker isn't even Spider-Man, it's Norman Osborn. A lot of things have happened. It's a pretty crazy world. Great story. You should check out these 3 issues. Really well done. I'm glad to see this series is continuing. Now, the next series is Spider-Girls. This was also a 3-issue run, and this one I really wish was continuing. The story here is awesome. We get 3 Spider-Girls. One is May Parker, or Mayday Parker. She is the original Spider-Girl, and now she is Spider-Woman. I believe that is Spider-Girl of Earth 982. Next is Anya Cortisone, Spider-Girl of the Prime Universe. And she's a really good character as well. Like I said, most of these characters I don't know that well, but these 2 characters, they basically go to meet up with Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson, or Mary Jane Parker, I guess you could say, of Earth 18119. And they basically go off to join the fight against the Inheritors, and they stay back to protect Annie Mae Parker, which is Peter and Mary Jane's daughter. And they bring along some scrolls that she has to read, and you know, they kind of have to learn the way to defeat the Inheritors through this series, and it's really good as well. As I said, I really wish this series was continuing on, but they do eventually join the fight, and that's kind of where these issues leave off, and I wish there was so much more to this series. I really do. Spider-Girls. Check it out. Okay, then the other tie-ins are Spider-Force. This is a 3-issue series. In this series, we are basically introduced to Kane, Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider. These are the characters of Earth 616. We also get Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman. She's in it as well, of Earth 616. We also get Ashley Barton. I believe she is Spider-Girl or Spider-Bitch of the Old Man Logan universe. I'll get more information on that eventually. I'm not for sure. If you know about that, leave it in the comments. We also get Charlie Parker, Spider-Kid of Earth 218. He's, I think, you know, obviously a different version of Peter Parker, kind of an interesting story behind him. Now these 3 issues, the first issue was really promising. The art in it's really good, but the story really just kind of fell off. After the first issue, it just kind of felt like a shoulder shrug of a story. I mean, really, they're all supposed to be working together to get the Soulless Stone from out in space. They meet John Jameson, who is the Astro Spider, and the story, I don't know, it really kind of, this story needed a lot more to it. I mean, it drives the story forward, it gets done what it needs to get done, but I feel like it could have been done much better. It really felt like a group of people who came together with a common mission, but none of them trusted each other, yet they reluctantly worked together. I don't know, it really got kind of old really quick, and it's really just a lot of backstory. They're just after the Soulless Crystal that the Inheritors are after. Yeah, like I said, I don't know, I think this series could have been done a little bit better, but they are a main part of the story that really drive the story. I think if these issues had been done better, just a little bit better, I think these little 3-issue runs would have been a lot better and served the story a little bit better. Now the next issues are Spider Geddon. There are 6 issues, starting with issue 0, going through number 5. Issue 0 is basically just like an introduction to Spider-Man, the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man of Earth 1048, I believe, where he is met with Superior Octopus, or in this case, the Superior Spider-Man, who goes to recruit him into the battle against the Inheritors. Now, issue number 1 of Spider Geddon comes out swinging as we meet all the different Spider cast, Spider-Man UK, Spider-Man India, Spider-Man Noir, the whole host of different Spiders. We get to meet them here in issue number 1. They basically all come together to stop the superior Octopus, Otto Octavius, from making these cloning tubes in which the Inheritors are going to use to come back. But of course, they arrive too late and the Inheritors are born. And right off the bat, Malone comes out and Verna come out. They both make easy work of Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Man UK, and that's kind of where we're left off, and with all the Inheritors being reborn and these two Spider people dying. As I said, they came out swinging on this first issue, or issue number 1, I guess. Now issue number 2 kicks off where the Inheritors are back, and Verna goes to attack Gwen, Spider-Gwen, and get her, and in the meantime, she's trying to get her watch that let them travel throughout the multiverse, and she fails, it explodes. Spider-Gwen goes off into another realm, and that's where her story that I previously mentioned picks up at. This is also the issue where we get the divide between the superior Spider-Man, Otto Octavius, and Miles Morales Spider-Man, as they both have different views on how they need to be dealt with. Where obviously superior Octopus, where it's kind of his fault, the superior Spider-Man, my bad, where it's essentially his fault that they're back. He wants to kill them, where Miles Morales wants to find an alternative to that. And near the end, Verna ends up in Loom World with her brother Karn, who is now the Master Weaver, who is basically on the Spider's side. I believe he's the Master Weaver, I could be wrong there. Correct me down in the comments if I'm wrong. Where she ends up there to kill him. And the issue ends with Spider-Gwen ending in Earth 3109, where she is in a twisted version of herself that I mentioned about her series. Now, issue number 3, we are introduced to Norman Osborn Spider-Man from an alternate universe. This guy is a little weird, looks a little weird, kind of a cool character for obvious reasons, I guess. A lot of these characters are really cool for their twists. We also get Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider, in this issue, and all the Spider people go to the Old New U. Brix, Bora, Genix, and Deimos go to the Old New University, or the Old New U, to get a hold of some new cloning tubes, as the other ones that Superior Spider-Man had created were destroyed. So they go there to get some more clones so they can be reborn and give life back to their father Solus. Now, issue number 4 kicks off with Jessica Drew returning back from her mission in the Spider Force, and she instantly falls into the hands of Genix. And she has the Solus Stone, so naturally they want that from her so they can give birth back to Solus, their father. And yes, they do get the stone, and they give birth to Solus. And we also find Miles Morales' team on Earth 13, where Captain Universe, or a Spider-Man with the powers of the Enigma Force, with basically the powers of Captain Universe, had been destroyed in the previous event, and this world is pretty much broken down, and they're there to look for Captain Universe or the Enigma Force, which that is how the issue ends, with them coming upon the Enigma Force as it awakens and asks them, basically, what the hell are you doing here? And that rolls into issue number 5. Now, in the beginning of issue 5, we basically learned that the Scarlet Spider was used as bait by the superior Spider-Man, Otto Octavius, to get the Inheritors to attack them, and because they're after all the spiders to eat their souls. So they use them as bait. PS4 Spider-Man steps in and is like, hey man, what the hell? And he's like, dude, we have a plan. Chill out. Now this is where the rest of the Spider team comes together and joins the fight. We see Miles Morales has been imbued with the powers of the Enigma Force, and he is basically now has the powers of Captain Universe. So in the end, they all fight and defeat the Inheritors. They kill Solus, and they turn the Inheritors back into babies with the cloning tubes. They basically want to give the Inheritors a second chance, as it was Solus who had basically grown them to go after these spider people and kill them. So they want to give them a second chance, and it is decided who will take care of them, and that ends up being Aunt May, or Spider-Man, essentially, who decides to take them in and raise them. Now the story ends with a cliffhanger and Norman Osborn, which would probably be like a mid or end credits scene in its MCU counterparts, that will probably assure that we're going to get another Spider Geddon or Spider-Verse event like this, where all the Spider people will come back together. Overall, I thought this was a pretty good event. It didn't seem like it was too big, but then I kind of look back at all the issues. There is kind of a lot to it. There is a lot of story to it. I really do like the story. I do feel, however, that Spider-Force really made this event suffer. Like I said, it seemed like a real shoulder shrug, and like I said, I'm not trying to be a critic. I don't mean to down talk them. The art was great. I just really felt like the story kind of fell off. Like I said, no criticizing here. I couldn't draw better. I couldn't write a better story, I'm sure. I would just have suggestions as a fan of what to improve. That's really about all I've got. Some people may like these stories. I'm not really sure. But like I said, they do drive the story forward. They serve their purpose. So they're not completely terrible. They just seem a little lackluster. And I think overall the whole event suffers for that. But again, as I said, I just recently got back into comic books after about a 25-year hiatus, so I'm not the best person to say. But that's why I say overall this event, it was pretty good. So if you're like me and you enjoy everything Spider, you should head out to your local comic shop, pick up some issues, check them out. Like I said, they're going to be starting to get released on trades, so you can pick them up in collected editions, save a few dollars, or you can buy them on Marvel.com through their digital site, or you could even wait for them to come on Marvel Unlimited. If you haven't checked out Marvel Unlimited, it's like a subscription service. I think it's like $10 a month. You get to read all the comics that you want that are on Marvel Unlimited. Not everything is on there, but there is quite a collection. I actually started reading a bunch of them on there, and I actually went to the comic shop and picked up some issues from reading some of those that I figured that I liked and wanted to get. And like I said, make sure you go to your local comic shop and pick those up. Support your local comic shop. They need your business. Don't go on Amazon and pick this stuff up. If you have to as a last resort, go ahead, but please go to your local comic shop. They do need your support, and plus there's plenty more there than just comic books. So what did you all think of Spider Geddon? Have you all read it? What did you think about this review? Did I kind of fill you in a little bit and make you want to go out and check out this series? Let me know down in the comments. That's really about all I have for this video today, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. Now, as I said, I am going to be doing a giveaway when we hit 100 subscribers on this channel. More details will follow on how to get entered into that. The best way is obviously to subscribe and make sure you got your notifications turned on, so then you will know when I update with more information about it. But I'm going to be giving away a digital copy of the movie Venom, and that will be coming, like I said, as soon as we hit 100 subscribers. So make sure you share this with a friend. The sooner we get there, the sooner we do that giveaway. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the 2nd Street Marvel. If you haven't already, as I said, make sure you're subscribed, click the little bell so you get notifications anytime we have uploaded new content. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and as I said, make sure you share with a friend so we hit 100 subscribers even faster, and invite them to come visit us here on 2nd Street. Have a great day.
My time will come, but until that day, give me a bottle of rum.